and you'll probably get a little pop-up saying that this meeting is being live streamed. Hello, surprise little interview guest today. For those of you that don't know me, you all should know me by now. Leah Horton, anti-diet health coach, founder of this group that you're hanging out in right now. And today I'm super excited. I have Jami joining us. And Jami, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Jamie. I don't know what all to say. So, uh,
Um, yeah, married kiddos, you know.
yeah, married with two kids that keep me very busy. They're both very active in dance, so they keep me
Mm.
running back and forth between the studio and hanging out and school and work and all the things that keep people busy, keep moms busy. So,
Mhm. Yeah, cool. So we have been working together for the last few months. And so I would love to kind of hear a little bit about you, like what you were really dealing with and what kind of like had you say like, okay, I need help.
So for me, it was just, I was kind of getting to a point where I knew I needed to do something about my health, about my mental, not state, about just kind of where I was at with how I was feeling about myself, how I was feeling about food and diets and all that kind of stuff that goes with just getting active again, coming out of COVID and having lifestyle changes and wanting to get back to where I felt like I was me again. And so I started from that place and I started doing research about, I was getting closer to like some of the intuitive eating stuff. I was dipping my toes in the water, researching about it. And so then I don't even fully know how. I think I saw that Leah posted something um, about the intuitive health and feeling good about not thinking about what she's eating and feeling good about life. And I liked her post and excuse me, she reached out to me and we just started from there. So it was good.
Yeah, I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think like the biggest kind of struggles for you were really like around like the emotional eating and like having like cravings and feeling like guilty about like having the things, and like it seemed like you were just like in your head a lot kind of around food and all of
It was.
that.
It was very much in my head because I had for so long followed different diets and programs that this is good and this is bad, and just trying to get back in or figure out what really is good and what really isn't bad type situations. And so then your mental health just wears you out and
Mhm.
then you get stressed. And for me, it was I get stressed and oh, what can I eat to get rid of that stress? And it just built on top of each other. So it
Mhm.
was just kind of that mentality and trying to figure out how do I cope with the stress without the eating part of it and feeling guilty if I have a piece of chocolate, because if I want a piece of chocolate, I'm going to eat my piece of chocolate and I need to enjoy it and find the joy in it and not have it suppress, I guess, the feelings behind the stress and manage my stress in a better way.
Yeah. Yeah. And like all the stuff was like even stressing you out more, even
Yeah.
though it's like
Yeah.
trying to be a stress reliever and also like adding a bunch of stress, which super helpful, right?
It all piles on top of each other and then you spiral down
Yep.
my rabbit hole, as you know.
Yeah. Was there like any like thing that you're like hesitant about or like that kind of was like, I don't know about this? Because it is very different than the kind of diet world. Right?
It is. I was hesitant because part of it was just saying yes to myself and believing in myself that I can do this and I can, I have somebody to help me. And yeah, the hesitation was just, am I ready to take that step, or am I okay just using all my excuses that I'm using to be in the place that I was instead of working through it? And so it was good to take kind of the leap to trust myself that this is something I'm capable of. And it was very helpful to have the coach to guide me through the things and retrain my brain.
Well, and like what I love is like you are a like working mom with all of these other priorities, and like it's so hard for moms to like say yes to themselves and like actually carve out that time to work on themselves. And so I know that was like a big thing that was really important to you of like, nope, like I've got to put myself first sometimes and make sure that I'm doing stuff for me. And I loved that so much.
Yeah, and finding my pockets is what I kept calling them. And I have a hard time in my schedule, just working mom, trying to figure out where is my hour of time. And it can't be when I put the kids to bed because I am too tired. I need my sleep. And so it was, where can I find my little pockets? And so a lot of times you'll see me sitting in the car by myself journaling or watching my video. Or when
Yeah.
I can get on the treadmill, I'll turn them on there and then play them back later so I can take my notes.
Well, and it's such a more reasonable approach. Like, I think a lot of the times we just get stuck on like, it has to look a certain way, or it has to be like a certain amount of time, or, like if I'm going to work out, I have to like go to the gym 3 times a week for at least an hour for it to count. And I love that you're like just finding those little opportunities where you can and like making it work for you and not caring so much about it having to look a certain way.
Yeah. And that's just it, I think. And you've talked recently too about like the self-care of it doesn't have to look like a spa day. It's just making sure you get what you need. So for me, it was making sure I had my purse snacks because there were days at the office I didn't get lunch. So I had my purse snacks. So as I'm picking kids up, I'm eating my purse snacks. Making that little self-care kit of purse
Mhm.
snacks to make sure that I have something, I'm fed, I'm got those pockets, and it doesn't look the same for everybody. It doesn't look the same for what society tells us it should look like. So it's just finding your way and figuring it out and what is going to work for you.
Yeah, and like releasing the judgment around it, right? Like it'd be so easy to like beat ourselves up of like, oh my God, I'm having a, Cliff Bar for lunch or whatever. And it's like, nope, this is just life and what's working for me. And I think that's great.
Yes.
Mm, yeah. What were your kind of like biggest, like, I don't know, shifts or takeaways in our work together?
I think some of my biggest takeaways were just trusting myself, that trusting my body to listen, to take the breath, to set my timer. And I do have my alarm every morning of my self check-in, the what do I need right now? And trusting that that is really what my body needs, whether it be a snack. A lot of times I'm like, man, I got to go to the bathroom. Okay, that's what I need to do. Or just I had a really stressful morning getting out the door. Now I'm at work. I can take that breath before I go in and face my next step for the day. So yeah, the biggest, yeah, trusting myself has been a big one. And just finding that neutrality. We talked about neutrality in food. Don't give the food power. It doesn't have to do any of that. It's just neutral. And how am I doing? I'm fine. I'm good. It's just neutral. I don't have to have an emotion tied to the food. I don't have to have an emotion tied to everything or the power that the food. So that was a good one for me too, is just that neutrality. So,
Yeah.
and the other thing, and I don't know, I wrote down a couple things, but, and this might be the place, it might not, but the one thing that we did that still sticks with me, because we talked about shifting the mind chain from good food, bad food. And when we had the discussion and we looked at the nutritional facts of like the apple to the granola bar, and just how I had it in my mind, well, I'm not healthy if I am having a granola bar today, or if I'm having this. When we looked at the facts, and they're the same, almost. They are almost the same. And so it's like, okay, so it's going back to, I was giving that too much power. And if all I have right now is a granola bar, then that's going to feed my body right now. And that's okay. And it has not any better or less than that apple that I should have brought with me type thing. So
Mhm.
that one has really stuck with me.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's probably like one of my favorite sessions that we had was like, okay, wait a second. It's so, and I think it speaks to like how pervasive like the diet culture and the diet mindset is of like, oh, if something's like in a package or like it's got, chocolate or like something in it, it's going to be bad or worse for you. And, at the end of the day, if look at them side by side, they're actually not that different. Like, yes, it's a little bit more processed, but it's also accessible and it's shelf stable, and like we don't always like have a perfectly right apple at the ready. And so if we have to eat the granola bar, we eat the granola bar, and it's serving its purpose. It's giving us fuel, it's got some fiber, it's got good carbs, like we're good to go.
Yes. Yeah. So that one, I don't know, that one just really hit home for me. So
Yeah, that was definitely I think a really good fun moment with you for sure. One of the things I think I'm like most kind of curious about for you is like, I think that we've talked kind of a lot about like how your perfectionist tendencies had kind of like played a role in how you're looking at like food and health and like your body and all of this stuff. How has that shifted for you over these last few months?
I think I have found that I don't have to have the perfect meal. I don't have to have the perfect balance of um, just anything really. I have eased off of some of those tendencies. I will say, like with my kids, it was always, well, you didn't eat this, so you can't have that type situation. And it's even working in with them. Okay, well, if you're full, you're full type thing. So the perfectionism that it has to be done a certain way, it's like, but does it? And it's okay if it's not. And so it's just working through those aspects of it and seeing those gray areas coming into play, and the balance and kind of that neutrality too is in there too, because you don't have to give it the power, you don't have to do that. So yeah, that was a big shift for me too. And it's like when we were journaling and trying to journal, I should say, I didn't start because it was, well, am I going to do it wrong? And then it's, well, there's no right or wrong. So then it was just doing it. And so then it was just finding that there is no perfect plate out there. There's no perfect way to journal. There's no exact.
Mhm.
And so I've come down off of that. And I think I've seen it in other areas too, that I'm like, it's okay. It's okay if it's not like, that's your way of doing it. It's okay.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, and it's more about like the consistency over time, not like, one meal, like, oh, there's not a vegetable on my plate this meal, like I'm screwing up, versus like, okay, yeah, maybe this meal doesn't have a vegetable, but I had a salad yesterday that was loaded with them. So like it all evens out, right? It works out in the end.
Right.
I remember you being like, I don't know what my plate should look like. Like, well, how am I supposed to know what your plate should look like? All of our bodies are different. Our life is different. My plate looks different, like literally every single meal, right? And I think just being flexible with it is going to be, again, less stress too, if we're just rolling with it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Mhm. Was there anything about the process that surprised you?
Just that I could be open to the non-perfection, the it doesn't look a certain way, the making sure if I don't have all the food groups on my plate, just kind of that from that perspective of it, that it's okay to not have that. And it's okay that, like you said, have more vegetables one day and not so much the other day, because that's just how the days work. So I think that surprised me a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. How about your favorite part of doing this work?
That I have found myself a little bit, and I have become more okay with myself than where I was at the beginning. My favorite part is just how much I really have grown about this, and how I can ignore really some of the diet cultures that are out there. And when somebody wants to talk to me about their current diet, I let them talk and I can just ignore it and move on because I am good with where I'm at. Um, sure, there's things I could do different, more, better, always, but
Mhm.
I'm okay with where I'm at right now. And I think that's my favorite part is that I'm in that mindset of I'm okay.
Mhm.
I'm I don't need to look a certain way. I don't need to eat a certain way. I need to trust, and I can trust my body will get me there and tell me what I really need. So that really has become my favorite part.
Yeah, it's more easeful. Like I even think like even just like talking to you now versus a few months ago, there's like a little bit more of like a lightness to you and just like a little bit like less I don't know. I don't know if anxious is the right word or something, but there was something that was a little bit more high strung. And so yeah, I've definitely seen you kind of like just be a little bit more at ease and a little bit more relaxed. And we did see like just the little bit more increase in confidence and how you feel about yourself, which I love.
Yeah. I mean, it was so much fun coming back or being on vacation in the hot by the pools and everything. I used to be very self-conscious and just very aware if I had what bathing suit I had on. And I've had a two-piece for a while, and it isn't like a string bikini or anything like that. But it was like at the pool, I'm like, I got this. Nobody cares what I look like. And if they do, that's their problem, not mine. And whatever it was, it just felt so good just to be at the pool and just have fun with my kids and not put 2 cents to any of it. And it was a nice confidence breather type situation. So it was really good.
Yeah. And it allows you just like to be more present in those moments and less like in our head and about stuff and really get to enjoy those
Yeah.
precious moments with family, which is awesome. And like all of this is happening without like your body changing. This is just all like how you're thinking
It's all
about your,
mental.
yeah. Yeah. Cool. Um, where do you think that you would be right now if you hadn't done this program? Like thinking about like going on vacation if you hadn't done this work.
I feel like I would be just more still in that same spot of fighting to I've got to work out so many times a week. I can only eat these foods. I feel like I would still be in that mindset and that stress of just the downward spiral of I'm not moving enough. I'm not doing this enough. I'm not just beating myself up for what I'm eating. And now I'm just stuck in that place because I couldn't get out of it. And taking the steps and doing the coaching and getting through the program and everything is just like that sense of relief, that confidence that, yeah, it's not going to look the same for everybody. I don't have 2 hours every day to hit the gym and to like hit it hardcore. I don't. And I mean, and if you do, great. I'm glad you have that time and ability, but it just was not in the 24 hours I have in my day.
Mhm.
So, and I had to protect some of the times that were valued to me, like I need to go to bed at a certain time. So, so yeah, I feel like I just would have been stuck in that same cycle of just beating myself up and the negative thoughts and yeah. So,
Well, I'm so happy with your progress. I love like how much you improved in all the areas and like cravings and emotional eating isn't as much of an issue for you. And yeah, that's fun for me. I love it. Like who would you recommend doing this kind of work? Like what kind of person or like what somebody's struggling with, I guess.
um, you know, a lot of people come to mind just, and I mean, I was talking to a friend today and because she was asking me how it was going, and I'm just like, you know what? It just gives me that mindset of it's okay that yes, you're working out, but work out because you want to. Work out because it makes you feel better. It gives you the energy. Because she was saying, my scale's not changing. And I'm like, toss the scale out. That's my opinion. So from that perspective, I mean, just anybody who needs kind of that extra little help, because I know for me, it was not a journey I could necessarily do fully on my own. I needed somebody to walk me through the steps to take what was happening and to break it down for me in terms that my brain can understand it, in terms that it's okay to be where you're at. It's okay. So just having somebody walk through that um, was a big help. And I think anybody who just needs kind of the buddy system in a way was is I would highly recommend if you just need that little push, the little bit of support is because I know for me, I needed that support. And my family is very, very supportive. They're very loving, but I needed somebody that was the focus was on that and not just you're fine, you're okay, you don't have problems. It's like, okay, but I'm not saying I have problems. I need this help. I need assistance. I need somebody to walk me through those steps. And so that's who I would recommend is just anybody who needs that little buddy push type thing. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like it's definitely possible to like do this on your own and like take in all the videos that I have and like read the book and listen to the podcast and do all of that. But I do think that it takes people longer to really get it. And yeah, like having that support system because like this intuitive eating and like learning to like love and accept yourself, like no matter what, is counterculture. It is you're going against the grain, it's against the norm, it's against literally everything that decades of conditioning and thoughts and all of that. And it's incredibly isolating to be trying to navigate that on your own. And so, yeah, having somebody or support group or whatever that looks like for you can definitely help in this process for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Jami, thank you so much for popping in today. I think it's always so helpful for people to hear, like, oh, yeah, like this is possible. Like, people are out here doing this. Is there anything else that's like coming to mind that you think people should know about this process or anything?
I don't know. Just it is a process.
Mhm.
And I mean, it can be hard, but it's worth it.
Mhm.
And it's worth putting the time into yourself to do it. Because I honestly didn't think I'd have the confidence to do some of the things that I am doing. And so it's just, yeah. If you're on the fence, here's your push to do it. How's that?
Just do it.
It's worth it. It really is.
Oh, well, thank you so much for trusting me in this journey. And I'm so stoked to see your progress and like excited for what's going to open up for you and how you're going to move through life moving forward. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Well, thank you for all your help. It really was a lot. So I appreciate it. So
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks.